Be a leading landlord. 6 ways to make your rentals more profitable. When it comes to renting out a property, it can be a great job or it can be a nightmare based on how you deal with the situation. I believe that it all depends on whether you are able to make the system work for you by driving passive income. If you try to do everything yourself, it depends entirely on whether or not you're able to make the system work for you. If you're ready to take your investment properties to the next level, then these strategies will help you make your properties more profitable. This will be done without you having to consistently work hard to keep up with your targets in order to make your properties more profitable in the future. Although the rental market is suffering through a difficult time right now, there is no doubt that savvy management is the key to staying ahead of the competition. Number 1. Emphasize advertising. It has become well known in the last few years that finding the right place to call home has become a challenge. This has been because those who have ever been on the hunt for a brand new apartment at some point in their lives. In order to find an apartment to rent, renters ping between a half a dozen different websites, search community listings, and send an endless stream of emails. In addition, landlords can make substantial profits from all this information overload by renting these apartments. Since Zillow recently committed to advertising, there are a number of ways in which you can highlight your properties in order to attract the attention of potential tenants. This is especially in light of Zillow's recent commitment to advertising. As a landlord, the most effective way to gain an occupancy advantage in your rental properties is by making sure that they are always on the minds of prospective tenants. This is done by making it as easy as possible for them to find you and your rental properties. Number 2. Location is the key. In order to be successful in the real estate business, there is one rule that must be followed regardless of the type of property that you're dealing with: the location, and location of the property. In regards to the rental, you don't have to worry about floor plans, bathrooms, cleaning fees, or anything else that has to do with your rental. When you're on the market for a rental property, you may find it difficult to anticipate the reasons why people would come to your property if you were searching for one. But if you were looking for one, it is important to think about the reasons why people would come to your property. If you live in a major city or not, you can easily get the answer to your question within a matter of seconds, regardless of where you are located, no matter where you live. You can check to see if there are any rental properties nearby you, or if there are a lot of people visiting the area on a regular basis, to see if there are any rental properties nearby. If there are any rental properties nearby, there is no point in going through so much work if no one is going to show up. So it is not worth the time and effort. Number 3. Shift property models. There is no doubt that long-term rentals are preferred by many landlords because they provide a more substantial degree of stability and require less attention each day than short-term rentals. However, the fact remains that long-term rentals are much less profitable than well-managed short-term rentals because of the lower management costs involved. Based on the size and market of the property, if it is occupied for less than a half of the month, the profitability of a short-term rental will generally be as high of that of long-term rental depending on whether the property is occupied for more than half of the month. While it is undeniable that this might not work well if you live in a city that has little to no tourist activity, platforms such as Airbnb and VRBO have made it possible for people almost everywhere in the world to rent out their homes for short periods of time. Number 4. Stick to familiar markets. One of the most challenging things that a real estate investor has to do in order to succeed is to jump into a market that they aren't familiar with. This is because the prices are reasonable, or they hear from others that the area is growing simply because the prices are very reasonable. There is nothing wrong with using such strategies so long as there is a sufficient safety net in place and market is growing across the board. However, if the market hits a bump, which is the case with the current pandemic, then it is better to stick to the familiar markets of protection. The good news is that you don't have to hire a property manager who is familiar with the area in order to fill in the gap. As you know the area quite well, you will be able to make wise decisions pertaining to the properties that you decide to buy based on your knowledge of the region. Number 5. Bring in the pros. There are times when you need to spend money in order to make money. This is especially true in the real estate industry, where, as the saying has it, you must spend it in order to make money. It is also crucial to day-to-day management of a property on daily basis for a person to follow a philosophy like this, since it is the heart of the entire house flipping industry. What should you budget for in order to set yourself up for success if you want to drive profits? One of the most important things you need to do when you're thinking about renting your property is to hire a property manager. If you own a few rental properties but you don't know how many, you can make your properties more attractive to tenants by working with a property management company. This will simplify your job by putting daily administrative tasks in the hands of professionals. It will also give you this peace of mind that no matter how many properties you own, your tenants always receive the support they need. As well as minimizing vacancies, it is also important to keep in mind that property managers can also assist with the advertising of your property and screening of tenants. This will enable you to maximize your profits even while paying them to manage your property. Number 6. Map out your returns. It is not just a matter of giving vacationers a place to stay. It is also a matter of giving yourself a place to live in the event that you purchase a property. You have come to the right place if you're looking for a way to get a return on an initial investment. It is important to keep in mind that even after purchasing a property, there may still be renovations required that are needed to be done, or additional taxes that are needed to be paid after the purchase of the property. If you are planning to make a purchase, you should ensure that you figure out how you are planning to manage the money that you will make after you make your purchase before you make the purchase. Just as it takes a while for you to see a profit when you own just one property, it may also take some time before you see a profit in small business, especially if you only have one property to manage.